Hey, it's Nikki. I was just about to come on the live and then the postman called. So I'm a couple of minutes late. I was like, I think that's a knock at the door. I'm pretty deaf because I've been DJing for 150 years. But yeah, so the postman turned up and I had to run downstairs, grab the package. And hey. Okay, so I am about to do a live with Gourmet Dinner Lady, aka Sharina. Hey, hi guys. Yes, okay, she's here. So let me get the request, go live. Yes. Oh, thanks. That's very nice of you.
Hello.
I think I've got a bit of help from the ring light, to be fair. It's all about the ring light, babes. Right, I've said I've added Gourmet Dinner Lady, but why isn't it adding her? Where is she? Maybe try again, because I don't think it's worked. Hi, everyone. Hey, about to do a live with Sharina, aka Gourmet Dinner Lady, who is fantastic. But for some reason it didn't add her. So let's try again. Hopefully, is my signal good? Can anyone tell me if my signal is okay? Hang on. Yes. Let's see if that worked. I've sent her a request. Can you guys hear me okay? What's going on with the stream? Is it all working? Should I do it again? All good. Okay, thanks. Thank you. You're like my moderator up in here. I love it. So I don't know what's happened to Gourmet Dinner Lady. I said, here she is.
I'm here.
Yay. Okay.
Oh my
We're
God.
rocking and rolling. How are you?
I'm all right. How are you doing? Let me move this back a little bit.
I need to turn you up a bit. I'm good. I just had the postman knock on my door at exactly 11 o'clock, obviously.
As you do. Yeah. I know this very, very well. Welcome to my life. Honestly, you're looking sizzling hot, by the way.
Oh, thanks. It's all about the ring light, mate.
Oh, that's what I need in my life, clearly. Honestly.
Everyone needs a ring light constantly, just in front of them.
Yeah, I've got a ring light, but I clearly need to, like, you know, up my ring light game. Just like walk around with it 24 hours a day.
I've got one I can attach to my phone in clubs so that when I film,
Loved
it's like, yeah. Oh yeah, you got to get on that.
Good. Well, I threw a little bit of lipstick on, but I'm actually in the kitchens today, so you can kind of hear like a rickety chair. And I'm knee deep in cheese basically today. So I thought I can't really get too dressed up because it's against the law to wear like a face full of makeup as you're catering. So yeah,
Is that bad then? Because I know, like, I'm obviously my bestie's a chef. And she always wears red lipstick.
I've always got red. I like a red lippy, you know what I mean? But you can't do like a full face, which is, you know, a little bit annoying. But yes, one is here. So
are you working today?
I am. Yeah, I am.
What are you catering today?
So this morning, so far, we've had what have we had? So we've got had several corporates that have gone out, which have been nice. The bulk of my business tends to be around corporates as opposed to sort of private one-off sort of orders here and there. But we've also got, it's Thursday, isn't it? So all of our cheese boxes go out and all of our postal things go out on a Wednesday and a Thursday for arrival on Thursday and Friday and sometimes Saturday. So
nice.
Yeah.
So this leads back to my first question. Like everyone that I have on, I basically just ask them to do a little intro on themselves.
Yeah.
And the clue's in the name, really, isn't it?
Yeah, kind of, yeah. I mean, so I'm Sharina, for anybody that doesn't know. I run a company called the Gourmet Dinner Lady. I'm Northamptonshire based, but we are nationwide as a company. And to be honest with you, we do very little locally. We do some, but mainly nationwide. I'm a singer by trade. That's my first passion, as it were, which I've been a backing singer for 20 odd years, 20 plus years. literally came out of the pram straight into singing. That's how young I think I am, but I'm not. But we literally became a singer, like sort of straight out of school, really. And I've worked with loads and loads of amazing people, travelled the world a lot. And then a few years ago, after having my fifth baby,
Sorry, what?
yeah,
Fifth?
yeah,
Five?
yeah. There's a lot.
That's
A lot.
amazing.
I know.
I'm so jealous.
It's bonkers. It's absolutely crazy. And I think that, like, which I guess we can kind of get into afterwards, but to be honest with you, I think I just sort of got to a point where it was really evident that my first four were kind of getting into teenage years, and I was about to have a newborn, and I thought, yeah, fine, I can just keep singing. But then really it became really clear after she was born that I needed to be home a lot more than I was. Like, at that point, I was sort of 9 months out of the year away on tour.
Yeah, that's what I was like too. Exactly
Yeah.
the same. It's
Yeah.
really hard. And I spoke to Jamelia, the last Raven chat, and we were just talking
Yeah.
about the difficulties that you do face that a lot of people don't realise. Like, also people, when you're a mum and you do music, there's no allowances at all.
No.
Like, even when I was pregnant, no one cared. They're just like whacking me on stage, up on like sets, making me jump up on things, and like there's no allowances for like childcare, none of that. So it's really difficult for mums in music to continue.
Yeah, I think, you know what, and number one, I think if it wasn't for my husband and my in-laws, my family, I definitely couldn't have got on and carried on doing what I was doing at all. And with all of my babies, I literally was in tour buses on the road until almost giving birth. And with the last baby, I literally, I think she was, well, not think, I know, she was born the 23rd of December and my last gig was the 19th. And she was a little bit early, but like, you know, I kind of just, 8 weeks after she was born, I was sort of back at work, and I thought, yeah, that's fine, I can do this. But I was a different person then, you know. It was just, so it became a lot, put it that way. But every artist I've ever been with, probably bar one, in all honesty, have been absolutely amazing about the fact that I've got kids, that, you know, I've never really had to take time off, but it's been a lovely life. You know, I've travelled a lot and the kids have been able to as well. So it's been nice. But I think after the fifth, I just psychologically, I was in a different space. I just couldn't get my head around, you know, I got on a tour bus 8 weeks after she was born and I couldn't get my head around what that actually meant. You know, it was I can't leave a fifth baby. Do you know what I mean? I can't do that.
Well, the thing is, most of the time we don't actually have any choice. Like, I didn't have a choice not to go back and be doing gigs and be in clubs and on tour buses and doing festivals. I'm like, I need to earn money. So do you know what I mean? So then you try and figure out, like, I tried to figure out multiple revenue streams and other ways I could also make money while doing my producing, DJing, writing, all of that. But like, a lot of mums don't have choice, do they?
No. And I think that's where the Gourmet Dinner Lady then kicked off. It was, okay, what am I going to do? Because if I want to be at home, I need to figure this out. I'd never known what it was to have a full-time job, really. So then I kind of did this really kind of, you know, classic sort of music, media, arts thing, and sort of got on a plane, went to LA for a few weeks, you know, to kind of, and I'm going to LA, darling, to get my head together, which I did. And I was like on the plane there, and I just had this idea from reading and looking at a few things. I was like, I'm going to do this. And that's when I started. And I started doing kind of grazing boxes and platters and tables and that sort of thing. And started this business that really I did alongside music for a long time. And then the minute that kind of COVID hit, in all honesty, is when I think I really took it seriously. I was obviously no longer doing it in between tours. I was just doing it, you know. And then my dad died last year because, you know, through the whole COVID process and everything that was going on there. And it really sort of just shoved me into this space of, right, what are you going to do? And I get a bit like that. My sister always says, I run to the fire. You know, most people sort of like shy away. They find a blanket or a duvet and think, right, oh my God, I can't cope. That's not me. That's not me. I run to the fire.
Do you know what the running theme of any woman that I know in music that survived a long time and being in our jobs is that exact thing.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it is, but it just makes people so tough and
Yeah.
resilient. Maybe all the knockbacks, maybe, I don't know, it's just it's quite a misogynist place by nature anyway, so you have to kind of tough it out a lot of the time. But most women that I know that have been in music are very, very resilient,
Yeah.
and they are those kind of like, right, what can I do to get around this now? But
Yeah.
before we go any further, I just want to say so sorry about your dad.
Oh, it's okay. And I say that like that for two reasons. I think the main reason being that I have had time, you know, I've had time to kind of process it, and it was quite a complicated relationship. So therefore, you know, I think I mean, I'm quite black and white, so, you know, I'll just say it as it is, you know, so it's probably not very, I'll just be honest, yeah, it wasn't the best relationship, which made it even more complicated, a
To
complicated
deal with.
grief. It was, I think if you know that you just love someone or you just hate them, it makes it so much easier to kind of sit in either space, you know.
Yeah.
But I didn't know where I was at. I couldn't work out. I couldn't figure it out. But yeah, now I kind of have. Yeah, I've come to terms with it all. So thank you. Yeah.
And with your gourmet dinner late, I love the name. The name's
Thank
just so
you.
cool. Because I remember dinner ladies at school, and they didn't look anything like you. The website's really fly, like everything about the branding and the way you've done it is so cool. I love it.
Thank you.
But so that's really taken off then in lockdown, has it?
I would say we were really busy before, but only it was all around my singing. So I didn't really throw myself into it. I treated it like a side hustle. I treated it like it was something that I could just do here and there. And I guess, yeah, no more touring. You know, there wasn't any touring or anything like that. I couldn't go on the road. So I just threw myself into it. And I think the Gourmet Dinner Lady, the name was completely, it just sort of came to me literally in the whole process. And it's a play, I guess, on the notion of, I guess, what the business is about, that it's not one dimensional. There's a few different sides to the whole process, and also what food represents to me and what I wanted to represent to other people, which is it's a vehicle towards conversation. You know, it's about food sitting in the middle of the table and kind of how you can help people and develop people through literally just putting some food in the middle of the table. I don't know about you, but most of my kind of breakthrough moments have like just been around a table having a meal with someone, you know. So I guess the dinner lady is the nurturer, the loving side, and the gourmet is, you know, we're going to make something amazing out of nothing, you know. So yeah.
Yeah, I love the presentation. The presentation side of your food looks really good. I love that.
Yeah.
Like yeah, it's just got like a real clean look to it, but it looks delicious.
Yeah,
but I haven't eaten meat for like 30 something years.
Yeah.
So usually my conversations around the table are people having a go at me about that.
But that's what's nice though. It's nice that, you know, you kind of, I don't know, that's what I love about the sharing platters, is that you can kind of eat what you eat and basically be able to serve loads of different dietary requirements and tastes and preferences with great ease, really, you know. And I guess the style and the artistic side of that is the creative in me. And I never wanted to, you know, I didn't want to stray away from being creative. And it's given me a massive outlet, to be honest with you.
I think there's a lot of parallels between music and food anyway. And chefs and creativity, it's all very creative, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
So I wanted to ask you about having 5 children, which is phenomenal. I'm so jealous. I can imagine there's just fun and noise in your house.
Yeah.
Did you feel at any point when you had kids because I know you would have been singing and on the road and touring, did you feel that you changed, that it changed you as a person? How did that work for you? Did it change with each kid?
Yeah, most definitely. So I think the first child, what happened there was I was on the road, and I was on the road with, I'm just going to drop the name, I'll just say it. But I was on the road. Actually, I will say this, Jamelia was one of the very first people I ever sang with.
I love Jamelia.
She was one of my first gigs, actually. I started at 17 and she was like, I think I was with her at like 18, 19, something like that. But at the time of getting pregnant, I was with Kylie Minogue, and I'd been with her for about 3 years at that point. And I just didn't, I mean, obviously we were traveling a lot. There was really intense tours. And I always laugh and say that we had like these Jean Paul Gaultier, bustier things, you know. And when I started, it was like, you know, it was like a little size 6, you know, it was like 2 panels. And honestly, by the end of that pregnancy, you know, those things that the wind cheater things that they've got on the big... That was me.
Did they keep expanding it for you?
Every week. It was just like, there was another bit added. And so then really, I think I started that on I was quite young when I had her. I was like 22. But to be honest with you, my mindset, I travelled loads by that point. So my world was so broad, and I didn't feel in any way, shape or form like it was narrowing my world. I felt like it was just another phase of what was going on. I knew I was going to go back to singing eventually. Going from 1 to 2, I really struggled. I did definitely suffer with a bit of postnatal depression, because all my first 4 are 13 months apart. So that's the other, you know, that's the other massive kind of change.
Did you not have a television?
No, clearly not. I've got Netflix now. So it's all right, it's fine. I basically just got pregnant, went back on tour, got pregnant, went back on tour.
I get what you're saying about the mental side of that now, because even sleeping on a tour bus pregnant is rough.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a lot to cope with. The scheduling, different cities all the time, like no sleep, it's a lot. So
it was intense, but I think, to be fair, it was literally as the second baby was born, and she was premature and she was in an incubator, and then she had this apnea thing. So, you know, at one point they didn't think she was going to live. You know, it was quite involved. So I really struggled. You know, I really, really did struggle, and I had no idea how to find my way back, to be honest with you. But again, it's that thing of running towards the fire. I couldn't settle there. Do you know what I mean? It was like, okay, I know this is where I'm at. What am I going to do? And I cried loads, and like, it took me a long time to find some light at the end of that tunnel. But I ran towards the fire, and I was like, I'm not going to give up. I can't stay here. And then I guess from 3 to 4, and obviously having number 4 was an absolute walk in the park for me. And honestly, a lot of people I know do say that like, if you go from 3 or 4 children plus, life just gets easier. Just easy.
They're just like entertaining each other, or like you just find it, you got into your swing and like, you know what you're doing.
I think that, like, okay, so the first baby, you know, who is now 18 years old, you know, she was like, it was all organic, you know, organic rice cakes, organic air, organic bloody bed linen. It was all organic, you know, and God, we've just got to make this the right temperature. And God, by the 4th, it was like, you know, all right, she'll live.
Yeah.
She'll be all right, you know. Just relax. I think you just ease into it, and you you know what, you trust your parenting. There were a few things that I was really clear that I wanted to kind of knock into my kids from the jump. And one of them was make good choices. So every day they leave the house, that is what I've told them from as young as they could actually understand that concept of what it was, you know, make good choices. And you explain it and expand on it as they get older, but be a good friend. You know, there were just some things, and I just felt like once I was really clear about how I was parenting and what I wanted, I didn't want them to be perfect children. I want them to be really good adults. Yeah. And there's a difference. You know, I wasn't interested in raising kids that were just like, that looked good and that said the right things at the right time, had no personality, no, you know, vavavoom, and just became really dead adults who didn't try, they didn't strive, they didn't want to do anything bold in life, you know?
Yeah.
So I think that once I became really clear about those things, I just dropped my shoulders. I was like, it's all going to be fine, you know? And it has been so far. They're not perfect.
We've got We've got someone saying, I think someone said they were on to their fourth, and someone else said, I'm not going to test the theory. 2 is enough for me.
I found 2 hard. Like, I don't know how people do 2 children. I genuinely don't know. I found it so difficult. So hats
Wow.
off to you. If you've got 1 child, 2 children, like, seriously, hats off
I've got 1 and 1 stepchild, and I
right.
wish I'd started early, but I was just bloody touring and DJing all the time. I would have loads if I could. Honestly, I love it so much. But yeah, I think those kind of boundaries and having a clear vision of what kind of humans you want to raise, that's an interesting viewpoint, really.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. Like, what advice would you give to moms that are struggling with that? Maybe like new moms that have just had another baby, and you know that, like, when you've lost your mojo at that time, like, what advice would you give them to find it again and get back on track? Because it sounds like you had that.
I think 2 things. I think firstly, think about what you hated in your own childhood, straight up and down, right? What did you hate in your childhood that you wished you'd had, or something that somebody gave you in your childhood that you honestly think, yeah, that's helped me a lot. Do you know what I mean? And I think the other thing is, and this might feel a bit contradictory, but I love social media, but I think that the cookie cutter parenting, where it's either the kids are so kitted out that they look like little adults, or the kid, there's so much resources, so much information being thrown at you. And sometimes what you need to do, which is why the only thing I'm grateful for the last 12 months, is shut your front door, look at your kids, look at yourself, and work out what it is that you like and dislike, and then run towards it. And I would say that, it sounds so general, but just in little things. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, like, my kids didn't eat sweets for years and years and years. I remember they went to a birthday party and my child was like, what is this? Because they just didn't have sweets. It's just what they didn't do.
Yeah, mine doesn't either.
They didn't have sweets until a certain age, and also I think my kids are really outdoorsy. I listen to my kids a lot. I listen to my kids and I apologize. And honestly, I promise you, for me, I feel that has shifted so much. The fact that I walked into my parenting prepared to apologize.
Do you think that's because you grew up with maybe the opposite of that? Did you? I don't know.
Possibly in part, but my mum left a lot of room for us to talk and to communicate. And I'm sure there's a lot that we said that she didn't like. And I can imagine now, as a mum, she probably would have just gone into her bedroom and sobbed. But she let us be who we were. And I think that for me has been like a massive... I think that takes a lot of the pressure off. If you let your kid be who they are, as opposed to what everybody else thinks they should be, but with really clear boundaries. Like my kids always say now, particularly the teenagers, there are some things we don't have to ask if we can do, because we just know the answer is going to be no, because it's clear. Do you know what I mean? I think your confidence as a parent has to come from your child, like what you want for your child, and not in a pushy way. But like, one of my kids is really academic and one of them just isn't. And I have got no desire to push that one that isn't academic into a university if that's not what she wants. I will support her. But I always just say, aim for the top. Whatever you want to do, give yourself the best. Give yourself the very best. And I don't think I've got it all right, but I try. Don't stop trying.
Yeah, because, well, I think our generation as well, we've kind of got this messaging, haven't we, that you can aim for things and you can try for this and try, but sometimes, like, just raising nice humans is also probably the most important thing. Like, not to be the pushiest, the most academic, the most successful. Success is so different to everyone that
Completely.
Raising a nice child and a nice human, like, I see a lot of kids around that are like extremely overconfident and very pushy, and I'm like, I'm not sure you're going to be the nicest adult.
I
So
think
there's
it's stress, doesn't it? You know what I mean? You stress your kids out by sometimes putting your own expectations of
yeah,
what onto them. And I guess the only expectation I've ever had from my kids is that you treat people well and treat them how you want to be treated, and that you try. Just try, you know, be nice and try. And that doesn't mean it's always going to succeed, but if you've tried, then, you know, that's it.
yeah, that's the best you can do. So, what I was going to say is we had someone that just mentioned that they had postpartum after their kids, and you mentioned it as well, I think, at the beginning. And I also had postpartum. So linked into that, like Mums at Rave is very much about getting up, dressing up, showing up. Like, even if you don't feel like it. Do you think that that has, because you know, like when you're, especially when you're in music and you have to go on stage, sometimes you don't have a choice. You might be suffering postpartum, but you actually just have to go out on stage and get on with it.
Yeah.
What would did you do anything specific to get over that?
Well, like I said, I run to the fire. And I can't stress that enough, which I guess is exactly the same principle that you're talking about there. I think what I did was I gave myself a chance. Do you know what I mean? I didn't put too much pressure on myself or I stopped putting pressure on myself. That's what I should say. You know, I realised that my body wasn't, and my mind wasn't catching up with maybe what I wanted and how much I wanted to achieve. As a mum, you know, in terms of around the house, I just went through a good 6 months of just feeling like I couldn't really do much. And I let that happen. Do you know what I mean? I let it happen, and I let that process take its course. And every day I did something else, that I just did one more extra thing that felt like a push. Do you know what I mean? So if the push was getting dressed, I just got dressed. If it was, I don't know, putting on a necklace, I put on a necklace. If it was, you know, every day I made sure I went out with the children because they were young and whatever. I'd always walk with the kids, and walking, honestly, I had 2 young babies in prams. You couldn't see me, and I just used to walk and cry. Just cry.
Oh, no.
I just used to walk and I just felt awful, and I didn't know what was going on. I couldn't understand it. I couldn't, you know, but I didn't stop walking. And I guess in a way that in whatever that looks like for you, don't stop walking. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that be physically walking, mentally, emotionally.
Just little steps every day.
Little steps. Never stop taking steps. Never stop taking steps. It will get better. It will always get better. Just don't stop.
So on that note, I think all of this as well really relates to the pandemic and what's been happening the last year.
Yeah.
Because it's affected people in so many different ways, and like quite deep ways. But how do you stay happy and positive? Like, because you seem positive, but in a very kind of together and strong way, not in a like, let's all hug and kumbaya type thing. How do you keep that kind of positivity going?
And let the bad days be the bad days. Do you know what I mean? I let them be the bad days. And I think if you spend a lot of time pretending that they're not happening, or trying to, I always say you can't go over or under, you have to go through. Whatever it is, you have to go through. There's no easy way out of anything. So I think I keep positive by walking through and always getting to the other end. I don't stop moving, you know, and I surround myself with really grounded people, you know, who aren't overly anything, not too, oh my God, hype, and you know, they're not all about affirmations, and then they're equally not also pessimistic that like you just think, oh God, I can't cope with life. They're grounded and they're real. And I think that good people, good food, good conversations, never stop talking, always have people to talk to, find someone wherever that outlet may be. And I think that's how I keep myself together. I don't get involved in no drama. I keep my life really free of people. You know, the minute I see toxic, the minute I hear a bit of gossip.
I don't really like gossip at all, actually. And people tell me things and I forget it. That's like, I'm like, just no,
Yeah,
it's not for me.
yeah. You hear it and you move on. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean? So I will never be anyone's go-to for a big slagging off session. That's just not my vibe. Um, I just, yeah, I keep myself balanced because, and I don't judge, actually. I don't judge. And I think that, you know, like sometimes saddling yourself with all those things can actually make your life a lot heavier. But
yeah.
I take people for what they are, I take myself for what I am, and I just get on.
I think also women are almost programmed with judgment from a young age.
Yeah.
So we're judged about how we look, what we wear. Are we doing that too young? Are we doing it too old? How old we are? Like you don't really see men in the media with their age mentioned every single time.
Yeah.
Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like we're almost programmed to be like that and be judgy of other women as well.
Yeah.
While
Yeah.
men
Like,
are just getting on making money with each
yeah,
other.
most definitely. Most definitely. Like, you know, she looks good for 20. She looks
Yeah,
good for
it's all
80,
wrong.
you know.
It's
And
all
yeah,
wrong.
yeah. I just try really hard to stay away from all of that. And yeah, I'm too old now. Anyway, I'm too old for all that lark.
So, coming from a music background and being a singer all this time, who would you say are your style and music people that you look to? I don't like the word icons really, but
Yeah.
who would you say is like your inspo if you were going to name some names?
Okay, I guess style-wise, I love Gwen Stefani. I love Gwen Stefani. I love anything. I like anything that is different. Anything that, you know, if everyone's swimming upstream, you'll find me swimming the other way. You must get that from me. I'm that girl. Do you know what I mean? I love anything that clashes. So I'm massively into designers, not designer wear, but like I love the concept of designers. So I think in terms of music, who do I look to? I love Aretha. I love Aretha Franklin, but then I also massively love, God, there's so many.
Do
There's
you
so
listen
many.
to all genres of music, like all eras and all genres? Because I listen to like 80s rock, 60s soul,
Yeah,
70s funk and
yeah,
disco,
yeah,
grime. I listen to everything.
yeah,
So,
most definitely. So like, I love Dave, but I also love Billie Eilish. I love, you know, I love a mixture of everything. I love off the beaten track stuff as well. I love new music. I really, really love music. But as much as I love classic, you know, classic soul, R&B, hip hop, like you said, garage, I'm a proper drum and bass head. Like, I'm a raver.
nice.
I am a
Yes.
raver. Yes,
Well, that's
I
what
am.
we're all about. You have
I'm a
to
raver.
come to the next Mums at Rave, wherever that is.
Honestly, I want to. I can't wait. I honestly can't
It
wait.
would be absolutely amazing if we could do it in conjunction somehow and get you to cater it, do a
Yeah,
brunch.
most definitely.
Wouldn't that be good?
Anytime. Yeah,
So,
anytime.
what kind of tunes do you love raving to? Is it because for me, if I've had a Hennessy and they play some 90s dancehall, it's all over.
It's all over. Yes, I mean, I'm an 80s baby, so I was a teenager in the 90s, right? So I guess, yeah, all of that, dancehall, like I said, garage. Once I hear General Levy, I hear, you know, all those sorts of songs, I'm all over it. I'm absolutely all over it. But then in another setting, if they put Queen on,
Oh, I love Queen.
I can't stop. Like, I just literally can't sit down. David Bowie, you know, so it's a big mixture.
The real they kicked down a lot of barriers and like made amazing diverse music as well.
Yeah,
Both
yeah,
Queen
yeah,
and I showed my kid Radio Gaga at Live Aid with Freddie Mercury, and
yeah,
he was just like, "Oh my goodness!"
yeah,
Because you know, it was like stadiums that they were playing to,
yeah, most
just
definitely.
seas of
Most
people.
definitely.
So yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
I listen to everything, to be honest. I think if you're in music, you kind of do as well, because I'm sure you've sung for artists that you're like, I wouldn't normally really be into this, but now I'm
yeah.
really into it.
I know. Well, I was with Gorillas, and it's funny because I've just seen one of the comments, Little Dragon,
Oh,
and
I love them.
Little Dragon, and anything that is like that is kind of like my bag. And I worked with the Gorillas. I was on tour with them for years, and that's probably what I loved about them is that I discovered loads of artists, young and old. You know, old and new in the sense of new music and new artists who I probably never would have come across before. So I met Little Dragon on that tour. Rose's Gabor, she's like become a really good friend as well. But then Bobby Womack was on that tour. You know, there was quite a few kind of like, wow, you know, real icons as well. So I think you've got to, again, it comes with that just being open to anything. I think you miss out if you close yourself off and say, oh, I don't like that. Or, you know, you definitely do. There's Jacob Collier. I'm loving Jacob Collier at the moment. There's loads. There's Neo, I think you call her. Is that how you say it?
Neo, I think, but I never pronounce people's names right.
Yeah, well, we discovered her actually, myself and my sister, because we sang together for quite some years. And we discovered her, I think, just like when she was just starting out. And that's what I love. I love watching people. I love it. I love seeing them come at the very start in the smallest room, in the smallest stages. And then all of a sudden, you know, you kind of then see them on main stage and all that sort of stuff.
Definitely.
So, you know, Stormzy before he was Stormzy versus Stormzy now is like two different Stormzys for me. And I love watching that progression.
That's happened to me a lot because I've been doing this so long.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice, isn't it, though? It's lovely.
Yeah, it's nice. I did the first ever show that Janelle Monáe did in the UK, and she got an easel out and started painting. And we were like, what the hell? She's climbing up things and all. I mean, yeah, it's just mad. And then you see them at the Grammys like a few years later, you know?
Yeah.
Fantastic. So now it's time for our quick fire round.
Okay.
I hope you're ready for this.
Yeah, cool.
Just say whatever comes to your mind the quickest, okay?
Cool.
So the first one is flowers or fragrance?
Fragrance.
Oh, me too. Everyone else has said flowers.
No, fragrance.
Okay, lunch with Little Kim or hit the club with Meg Thee Stallion?
Lunch with Little Kim.
Okay.
Yeah. I want to know the stories. Oh, she's she's gonna.
I've met her a few times, and it's always been extremely interesting.
Yeah.
Mini, midi, or maxi?
Maxi.
Maxi. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Marmite, yes or no?
No. Why? Why? What are you doing?
Oh my God, I love it so much.
So
I love it. Marmite, everything.
There's one with peanut butter in it. Have you tried that? Marmite.
Well, I don't eat peanut butter because I think it's rank, but the Marmite, yeah, all day long.
No.
They've got Marmite flavoured hot crust buns somewhere.
Why? Why?
I was like, oh, that sounds delicious.
No, no. Oh my God, no.
Tiger or leopard print?
Tiger.
Okay, I love a bit of tiger, especially in the home. I think it looks amazing in the house.
Yes.
Vogue or on Vogue?
Vogue.
Vogue, okay. Dancehall queen or disco scene?
Disco scene. If I had to choose, yeah.
Nice. Well, it's a hard choice though, isn't it?
Yeah. Donna Summer all day long.
I love Donna Summer. Squats, salad, or sex?
Sex.
It's the only answer that anyone's ever given, by the way. Every single woman.
The salad.
Baggy or bodycon?
Baggy.
Yeah, I love a bit of baggy as well.
Yeah,
well, especially since the last year, I've like managed to gain 3 chins.
Likewise.
In lockdown.
Yeah.
Red lip or smoky eye?
The phone rang.
Oh, sorry.
The
Red
phone
lip.
rang, sorry.
Red lip or smoky eye?
Red lip.
Nice. Classic R&B jams or hip hop and you don't stop?
R&B jams, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Are we talking like Jodeci, H-Town?
Yes.
What else? Blackstreet, New Edition?
Total,
okay.
All of that. Yeah.
Okay, got you. Moschino or Chanel?
Chanel, darling.
Nice.
Yes.
Kale, yes please or hell no?
Yes, please. Yeah.
Oh.
Love kale.
Oh my God, it's so awful.
No, it's not. Okay, I know we're quick firing, so we won't stay here too long, but it depends what you're doing with it. Honestly, nice oil, just left with some like.
I've tried many times.
Really?
I've even tried in LA where they do salads well there, and I'm just like, get it away from me. And I've been veggie, like I said, 30 something years. I've tried and tried and tried. But anyway, okay, we'll agree to disagree. I'll taste it if you make it.
Yeah, definitely.
Face beat or natural chic?
Natural, actually.
I'm
up for a beat. But my preference would always be natural.
Nice. Well, luckily you look good.
I don't know how.
Two-step or dotty wine?
Dotty wine.
Yes.
Yes.
Kitchen disco or raves till the cops come?
Rave till the cops come.
Amen to that. Please let it happen soon.
Then go to the kitchen, basically, and then go to the kitchen afterwards.
Okay, we've got the best of both. I'm sure you've got a nice kitchen as well.
Yeah, it's a party house. My house is a party house, definitely.
Amazing. Yeah. Right, the last question.
Mm-hmm.
Netflix and chill or sleep and vitamin pill?
Netflix and chill.
That is meant as a easy for me to say euphemism, by the way. Okay, good. You just said it so fast. I was like, maybe she didn't understand it.
I have the vitamins after.
No, she got it. Well, do you know what? That's the end of my questions and the end of our Raven chat. And it has been absolutely lovely to have you on.
Likewise, so good talking to you. Like I said, I've come across you before. Me and my sister have been out raving, and we've been to the W Hotel.
Oh, yeah.
And you were DJing there.
That was my party every Wednesday.
Yes, every Wednesday.
Yeah.
And it was years and years and years ago. So obviously then to sort of find you all these years later, it's so nice to connect.
Well, I was doing the W Hotel when I was pregnant.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
I didn't seem to remember that. So that was a long time ago.
Yeah, it was like 2013, 14, 15, 16, that kind of era.
Yeah, we were there a lot then. It
was so fun, that party.
Yeah, it was brilliant. We'd literally like do rehearsals or do gigs. And like, if we had a London show, we'd come there afterwards, sometimes with the artist as well. So yeah.
Yeah, we had so many artists pass through. So you must know Royston then.
Yes. Yeah.
That's my boo.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you so much for coming on. It's been amazing. Hopefully you can be a guest of honour at our next Moms at Rave.
Honestly, we will be there with bells on. Just tell me when. I mean,
yay.
I'll be there early.
And thanks to everyone who was on the chat and sending messages and stuff. I'm going to post it up on the page now, so that's where we get like the real views and everyone looks back on it.
Yeah, cool.
But thank you so much.
No worries.
Have a great week and the rest of the weekend.
Likewise. Thanks for having me, darling. Thank you.
Take care.
Take care, darling. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.